Hey folks, welcome back to Noman Reviews. Huge fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, especially the Fellowship of the Ring, so I am super excited to unbox and review the InArt Aragorn Premium Edition from the Fellowship of the Ring. I have been wanting an Aragorn 1/6 scale figure for a really long time, but there hasn't been a good option until now. However, I've heard that this toy has some bad QC issues, so I'm hopeful that my copy is going to be good. So we're going to take this to the light box for an unboxing, do some fun poses, and settle on a final score at the end. Before we continue, may I request that you hit those like and subscribe buttons to support my channel.
So when you unbox your Aragorn, you'll notice that the art box has a protective green cover, and you can just slip that right off. Removing the plastic green slipcover reveals this gorgeous cloth box with a fold-out magnetic design very similar to what we got with InArt Gandalf. Right in the center is the ring to rule them all. My Elvish is a bit rusty, but I believe this says one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. Okay, so I might have cheated by checking on Google. But up top you've got the Lord of the Rings logo, down below you've got the InArt logo, and right in the center it says Aragorn, and despite being called InArt, they don't really pick the best fonts. This is a very plain looking font in the center. One side of the box is pretty plain, but the other one has a large Lord of the Rings logo, and I think that looks pretty awesome. At the back of the box it says Aragorn up top, and in the back you can see the character in question. Beautiful silhouette of Aragorn. Right in the center it says InArt 1/6 collectible figure, the Lord of the Rings, and you can tell this font was picked by InArt. I have to say, I love how premium this art box feels. The cloth feels very nice, and the texture on the logo and the ring, outstanding. Of course, you can pretend to be a Middle-earth DJ if you want. So, time to get this bad boy open. Up top, you have this case of booklets. Like Gandalf, I suspect this is going to be multiple layers of goodies. We are definitely going to look at everything in great detail, but before we do, I do want to take a sneak peek at that head sculpt. In typical InArt fashion, it is in a dome, so you have to unscrew the base. Well, that is, without doubt, the best 1/6 scale Aragorn head sculpt on the market today. And I say that knowing that the competition isn't very good from Asmus Toys. It has been such a long wait for Lord of the Rings fans to get a good Aragorn head sculpt. For years, we've had to put up with Asmus Toys, and their Aragorn in 1/6 scale, of course, looks like foot disease. This, by comparison, is a masterpiece. The likeness to Vigo is nearly perfect. I love the skin tone, looks so human-like, so authentic. Love how they've done the stubble, the hair, beautifully colored, nicely rooted. Side profile also looks outstanding. The eyes, gorgeous. This is like a little Aragorn in my hand. Would I say this is better than the Gandalf? Probably not. That had more complexity in terms of all the hair for the beard and the head, but this is also outstanding. My only criticism of InArt head sculpts is that they use a bit too much glue for the hair, which leaves it a bit stiff. The advantage is that it doesn't go out of position, but it leaves you very little room, and this is also very stiff, very tightly glued in place. So that's something you have to put up with. Like other InArt products, Aragorn comes with a set of literature. This card, language in Chinese, so I can't read it, but I think this is some sort of serial number for the product. Maybe if someone in the comments knows what it means, they can tell me. This very nice movie ticket, portrait of the Aragorn toy, says Lord of the Rings Aragorn. On the back looks like an actual movie ticket. This envelope contains a thank you letter, which is always nice to get as a collector. You can pause and read it now if you like. Can't remember the last time Hot Toys thanked us for supporting them. Finally, we get this instruction booklet. As usual, very high quality. This book contains information about the standard version and the premium version. This section tells you about all the stuff you get with the product. I like that it looks like a periodic table. This is the packing guide. The precautions, and now we start with the articulation instructions. More about the articulation. Different types of hands you get with Aragorn. How to use the accessories. How to use the base. How to manipulate the eyes. And how to take care of your product. More on how to take care of the accessories. So that's pretty much it. So we're going to look at the accessories layer by layer, and this is the bottom layer. So here you have the belt, the cloak, polishing cloth, marching blanket, I guess. This is the bundle cloak, and here you have the magnetic base. Aragorn's cloak. Well, the positives are, from a distance, it does look nice. The cloth has a nice texture. Feels kind of velvety too, but it also feels very cheap. This is not up to InArt standards. Yes, if you watch the film, his cloak does look thin, but not this thin. This is not even single ply. I'm joking, but it's like half ply cloth. It's so cheap. The green leaf brooch on the cloak is nicely done though. Lots of detailed, intricate work. I like how it shines in the light, and very faithful to what we saw in the film. That being said, it was a bit brighter in the film, I think. So I am pleased with it. I just wish this robe was better quality. The material on this is really poor. As I mentioned, it feels like something from the dollar store. I don't know what InArt was thinking. By comparison, Asmus Toys has given us very nice, rich cloaks. They're so light, like an elven cloth should be, but material is very rich and has different shades and textures depending on whether you're looking at the outside or the inside. Then there's the cutting of the cloak. This looks really poorly cut, like someone just took a pair of scissors and went in a circular line. It does not look realistic, but this feels like an actual cloak. It looks like it was cut professionally. The curvature is very organic, very nice. But what is happening here? And finally, the hoods on the Asmus Toys cloaks are wired, so you can get some dynamic poses, dynamic looks. But this just feels cheap. Aragorn's base is small but well crafted and highly detailed. Love how it feels, nice texture on top. Kind of feels like marble. Of course it's not. Love all the detailing. Look at all the cracks, all the dirt, all that grass. Here. The coloring of the grass is pretty nice too. Base looks good side to side. And of course, they've gotten that font down really nicely. But here's the problem with the base. So you're supposed to spin this disc and you pop it open, and then you can adjust the magnets according to where Aragorn's feet are. First of all, I don't even understand why they have that. Why can't they just have a large magnet? But even if they don't have a large magnet and they have an adjustable one, problem is I can't adjust it. Like a lot of people, my base is stuck. This barely turns, and even if I get it to turn to this position, it doesn't pop out. So I'm gonna keep trying. I might have to use a hairdryer to heat it open. The good news is I applied a little bit of heat, just warmed it up slightly, not enough to damage anything, and it started moving. So here is the base, and you can adjust these magnets. So you can move them side to side, and you can move them up and down. according to where you want Aragorn's feet to stay. And it's a pretty nifty system. I don't understand the physics of it, why we just don't have a larger magnet. Aragorn's belt has some nice detail on it, especially on the buckle. This part looks pretty good too, nicely colored, but I am concerned about the material. It feels very thin. I just hope it doesn't deteriorate in a few years. This is Aragorn's marching blanket, nice quality material, very soft, feels premium. The dye coloring is very good. It has been given a bit of wear. It looks like it's been on the road for a long time. Strap feels a bit thin. I believe you can open these up to stretch this out, but I don't want to do that because I don't think I'll be able to close it properly. But this is a beautiful accessory to have. Aragorn's bundle cloak, beautifully colored again, and nice quality soft material. Another nice accessory to have. Here is the second layer from the box, and this also has quite a few accessories. We've got the quiver, broken narsel, pipe, sharpening stone, and necklace. This is the scabbard for the sword, scabbard for the dagger. This is the waist knife. Of course, this is the sword. 4 arrows, bow, and bow with bowstring extended. Here is Aragorn's necklace, gifted to him by Arwen, of course. And the pendant is beautiful. Unfortunately, as you can see, mine has come broken. I'm not quite sure I'm going to fix it. Maybe I'll use super glue. If I can't fix it, I might ask for a replacement. But as beautiful as it looks, I am disappointed that it came broken. I'm also surprised that it's made of such flimsy material. This string should be a chain and the pendant should be a bit larger. Another tiny but beautiful accessory. This is Aragorn's sharpening stone. You can hook it on the belt. There is a clip at the back. Here is Aragorn's pipe. It's a bit less bendy than Gandalf's pipe. I think that's because the Gandalf's pipe was supposed to go in his staff. But this is pretty stiff. That being said, I like how it's painted. I like all the detail. Especially here, you can see all the tobacco inside the pipe. I like how Aragorn's arrows look. They're nicely painted to look like wood arrows with metal ends. There's silver paint here, green over here, and the feathers at the end are also green. My only concern with these is that the material feels a bit low cost, and unfortunately some of my arrows came warped, especially this one. I have tried to reshape them, but unfortunately they still look a bit warped, and I'm not pleased about that. I like that you get 2 bows with Aragorn. This is the one without the string extended. It's nicely painted, made to look like wood, but the interesting thing is that this bow is slightly darker than the one with the extended string. Not sure if you can tell on camera, but this is ever so slightly darker. Of course, that is not a deal breaker, that's just an observation. The string on the bow with the string extended is very good quality. It doesn't seem like it's going to break anytime soon, so be careful when you handle these pieces. I think it's so cool that InArt has given us the shards of Narsil, and very sharp as you can expect. I think this is metal. Nicely painted, that handle. Good details on this. I don't think I'm going to take any of these pieces out. I don't want to lose them, but that is so cool to have. Here is Aragorn's sword. What a beautiful accessory this is by InArt. It's made of metal, it is sharp, been given a bit of wear on the handle too. At the tip of the sword, the green handle looks pretty nice. Overall, I do love this accessory, though I am surprised that they didn't give us a proper handle. They've just painted it on, but I guess that makes it more durable too. If you have a leather handle, it might break as you put it on the hand and take it off. Aragorn's scabbard. This is where he can put his sword in. This is not the enchanted version. It doesn't have the elven writing. That being said, it is nicely designed and good attention to detail, good quality material, some dry brushing at the end to give it that wear. Straps feel like they're decent quality. You can insert the sword at this end, and you can insert the dagger right over here. Here is Aragorn's dagger. Nice die-cast metal, sharp at the end, given some dry brushing just to add that wear. Handle looks nice, golden accent on either side of the handle. Aragorn's waist knife, made of die-cast again, sharp at the end, good quality material. Like the inscription on it, Like a little bit of dry brushing on it too. Handle looks nice. Good golden accent over here at the end of the handle. Is a really nice accessory. The black and gold scabbard for the waist knife is faithfully reproduced. Looks exactly like it did in the movies. Like the golden touches right at the end, like the gold touch on the strap. And this material is very nice quality, not likely to break anytime soon. Finally, we are at the top layer, and on the top layer you have the body. You have this peg, which you attach. I guess they're done with the magnetic system, which is very disappointing because that was one of their big innovations, and instead of fixing it, they are just abandoning it. So that is unfortunate. Here you have the head sculpt, and you have quite a few hands. You have open palm hands, bow holding hands, gloved hands, and a couple of bloodied hands that look really good. Here are all the hands that you get with Aragorn, and beautifully done by InArt. Really nice molds, excellent paint applications. You can see all the details on the skin. Skin tone looks great. You see the veins, you can see the knuckles, the nails, and the skin all just a little bit dirty. The gloves, again, very nicely done. I think the paint applications on them are excellent. Nice complex brown coloring. And you can see the creases too, just to make them look worn. When you turn the hands around, you can see all that extra attention to detail. Notice all that dirt and grime under the fingernails, around the fingernails, and even on the skin. I like how complex the paint applications for the skin are. Some of it is shades of pink, some of it is darker, just like a real hand. And the gloves, they have so much creasing on them, and the paint applications are so good that you forget that this is not an actual rubber glove. Of all the hands, these two are my favorite. I love all that blood detailing, and mixed in with that dirt, they've done such a great job. In fact, these hands look so realistic. I low-key feel a bit disgusted just looking at all that blood. Interestingly, the hand is magnetic, so InArt hasn't abandoned the magnet system completely. But of course, again, the head is not magnetic, and I've noticed on future releases, the bases aren't magnetic either. So let's see what the future holds for the magnets in InArt toys. We are going to look at Aragorn in more detail when he is standing, but a quick look at the soft goods. The first positive is that this body is quite heavy and it feels high quality. The articulation, as we'll see soon, is also excellent. The soft goods are also very aesthetically pleasing. They look gorgeous on your shelf, up close or from a distance. In addition, I think the outfit is quite accurate to what you see on screen. I watched Fellowship again last night, and I paused the movie a few times with Aragorn on the screen and comparing those stills from different angles to what we have here. It looks quite accurate. What I'm especially impressed by is the weathering. As you may recall, Aragorn gets into quite a bit of dirt and mud throughout the trilogy, and they have tried to replicate that here with this suit, especially the tunic. It looks like it's seen quite a bit of action. It looks a little burnt. The pants over here, again, quite a bit of wear on them, as there is on the boots. Looks like a mixture of mud and dirt. The soles, they look worn. They look like they've seen a lot of action. They've been in quite a few muddy puddles like Peppa Pig, and that is credit to InArt. So yeah, visually, soft goods are outstanding, beautifully cut, really nicely stitched, and the dye work is outstanding. So now let's get to the problem with the soft goods, and the biggest problem is the drop in quality. If you purchase the InArt Joker, Gandalf, or even Batman, you'll notice there's a steep drop in quality in these soft goods. It is actually shocking because this company charges a premium price and boasts that it sells premium products. But the material on this coat is so thin and it feels like it's something from the dollar store. I realize that elven garments are thin, but InArt has taken it too far. The tunic feels like dried cardboard. The boots are okay, a bit too soft. If you look under this cardboard feeling tunic, they haven't even bothered to stitch the shirt properly. I'm also disappointed that they've ditched the magnet system for a peg system, and the magnet system was one of the big innovations by InArt. That was something they had boasted about. That's something that excited fans, finally seeing some innovation that was beating hot toys. But it's disappointing to see that they have ditched this innovative feature instead of fixing it, because I know that the magnet didn't work properly on some figures, but instead of fixing it, they have ditched it entirely. As I said when I took a sneak peek at the head sculpt, the portrait is outstanding. The mold, beautiful, and the paint applications are very good. The skin tone varies in different parts of the face. For example, the nose, under the eyes, different from the forehead as it should be. The stubble is really nicely done. Maybe could have been a bit darker, but looks good. My only complaint with the sculpt I've got is that they use too much glue on the hair. It feels really stiff, and it takes away the point of having rooted hair when you've glued it to being like plastic. But I know that I can run some water through it and loosen it up a little bit. Side profile is pretty good though. I'm going to say it again, I am very lucky that I have a decent sculpt for this figure, because a lot of people have received head sculpts with some major flaws, like spots on the faces, hair really screwed up, or hair just not glued or set correctly. Let's take a quick look at how to attach the head sculpt to the body. As mentioned, this figure does not have the magnetic system, so it's a bit more old school that way. There you go, easy peasy. And what an outstanding looking figure this is. If you get a good one, you will be very pleased with this purchase. Arming Aragorn is also a simple task, though I am hopeful that the hand can bear the weight of that metal sword. It does take a bit of pushing, but finally, I got the hand on the body. And happy to say it holds the sword quite well, not falling off. It does look like Aragorn is doing something else though, so I'm gonna stop. I think the magnet on this base works quite well. In fact, I've never had a problem with the base magnets. My Joker is still standing like he was since the day I got him. Same with Gandalf. As we saw before, you can spin this open and adjust the magnets if you want to adjust the position of Aragorn. But magnets are quite strong. Check that out. Here we have Aragorn straight out of the box in a museum pose, no accessories on him. And I know I've said some of the soft goods are poor quality, but visually, there's no doubt it all comes together very nicely. It does look quite stunning. Looks like some guy cosplaying as Aragorn at first glance when you see an image on Facebook or Instagram maybe, but this is a toy and it looks gorgeous. Up top, the head sculpt looks really nice. I do have to work on the hair a little bit, but straight out of that little canister, the head looks good. And so much detailing on the soft goods. Really gorgeous stitching, and the coloring is also very good. I especially love all that wear. You can see it on his hands, on his dirty fingernails, on his boots, on his pants. And this tunic has definitely seen some action. It's probably been exposed to fire, the way it's kind of cut at the base and the way the color is fading from the top to the bottom. Great attention to detail. Side profile is also outstanding. I think the stitching and the fitting of these garments is excellent. It is very accurate to what we saw in the film. Aragorn wore very slim fitting clothes, and I think InArt has done a good job in that sense. Looks pretty good from the back too. Again, you can see how good the stitching is. And the tunic looks okay, but don't go beyond the tunic because that shirt has not been stitched very well, at least on my copy. Time to take a look at Aragorn's articulation. Let's start with the head. Tilts left very nicely. Tilts right very nicely. You can pretty much turn it 360 degrees and do the exorcist look. Ah! Okay, he's back. That's very impressive how far he can look up. Looks down really nicely too, because there are a couple of joints at work here. There's the head joint or the peg over there, and there's the neck joint. Shoulder goes up pretty high. Moves forward, moves back. I guess I could rotate it 360 degrees, but I don't want to damage the jacket. cut at the bicep. Beautiful double jointed elbow. And hand rotates freely. So the fun thing is this has a diaphragm joint and a waist joint. So you can twist the diaphragm, move it up and down, and same with the waist. Legs stretch quite nicely. Kicks forward. Kicks back a little bit. Nice double jointed knee. Thighs rotate. Good foot articulation. There's no cut, of course, that would be unsightly. And he stands really well. So I would say the articulation for this figure is outstanding. Here is how Aragorn is looking right now, but let's change the direction of the eyes. As you can see, you can manipulate them quite easily. And here he is looking like the Undertaker. Rest in peace. Getting Aragorn suited up felt a bit intimidating, but it turned out to be quite easy. I watched the official InArt video where they show you how to suit up Aragorn, and probably the most challenging part was to put this belt on him, just to fold it through and then pull the strap through here, but not difficult at all at the end. I've also got his pipe in, and at the back, you'll notice he's got his camping equipment, he's got his bow, he's got his quiver, he's got the arrows. You'll notice over here, he's got his sharpening stone, sword right over here. And I'm not sure if I've got this position incorrect, but that is where his knife is. He also has another blade right over here.
Now that we've accessorized Aragorn and checked out the articulation, it's time to take him to the toy room for some really fun poses. Time to take a closer look at Aragorn accessorized under the portrait lens. What a time to be alive as a collector, because that portrait is just gorgeous. Beautiful paint applications. Again, mold and hair rooting overall is very good. The Evan Star pendant is on his neck. I have repaired the necklace. I haven't done a great job from the back, but it looks okay from the front. I love how InArt has colored the eyes. They look so lifelike. Pendant does look good. Tunic, the jacket, the straps around his chest, I love how the colors are contrasting and complementing each other. The soft goods, while not the greatest quality admittedly, do look gorgeous, don't they? I am quite concerned about the belt. It does feel very low cost, and it feels like it's going to deteriorate in a few years, which would be a pity. And this is such a critical part of his outfit. They should have given us a higher quality belt for sure. The boots though, highly detailed and pretty good quality. I think they're going to last a long time. The base is simple, but quite beautiful. Overall, this guy looks stunning under the portrait lens, I have to say. Here's another look at Aragorn, this time bathed in natural light outside my house.
Time for some size comparisons, and on the right we have InArt's Joker. This is from the Rooted Hair 2-pack. I don't think I need to bring out both, but interesting to see them together, and interesting to see that the soft goods quality on InArt's has gone down a little bit. This is far superior in terms of the soft goods, but in terms of head sculpts, I think this one is just a little bit better. I think the hair and the paint applications and the likeness to Vigo is nearly perfect, while this is also outstanding, but I think the hair is a bit too bushy, and I think the head is a little too big for that body. Of course, I am nitpicking. I would not give this for anything. Next, we have InArt Bruce Wayne. This is from the deluxe pack. Again, I don't need to take out Batman. Just going to do a quick comparison here, and I think the soft goods on the right are far superior to the soft goods on the left in terms of quality, but again, I do think this head sculpt is really good compared to what we have here, especially the side profile on Bruce Wayne is quite off in my opinion. And now on the right we have InArt Gandalf, and I think this is InArt's best release so far. It is also superior to Aragorn in just about every way, even though Aragorn is a very good figure. But the soft goods quality is much better than what we get with Aragorn, especially that belt. It's nice, thick, good material, and that feels like it is going to deteriorate in a few years. And while Aragorn's head sculpt is outstanding, especially if you get a good copy, I think Gandalf's head sculpt is the best that InArt has done so far. And now we have Asmus Toys Gimli on the right with Aragorn, and this is one of Asmus Toys' better offerings because of that rooted hair that's done so well. Plus that cap on the head, it covers some of the flaws on this head sculpt. Compared to Aragorn from a distance, they do look good together, but the soft goods on this are really poor quality, like typical Asmus Toys. The only interesting thing is, as I mentioned earlier, for some reason, the elven robe on this toy is far superior to what InArt has given us, which is just a piece of terrible one-ply cloth. For the final size comparison, we have Asmus Toys Legolas on the right. I was very disappointed with this figure. When I first got it, the head sculpt is a huge drop in quality from what they showed us in the prototype, almost like a bait and switch. I have ordered the InArt Legolas, so this is a placeholder. And they do display okay together, but in terms of quality of soft goods, head sculpt, and even the body, the InArt Aragorn figure is far superior to what we got from Asmus Toys, except in one area. Again, I don't know why the elven cloak for Aragorn is of such poor quality, while the elven cloak we get with Asmus Legolas is very beautiful. Finally, we have a group shot of InArt figures and Asmus Toys figures from the Lord of the Rings films, and they're all robed this time, unlike the size comparison videos. I'm very happy to have these. I realize that InArt figures are far superior to the Asmus Toys ones, but those two are placeholders until we get InArt to release them.
My final score for InArt Aragorn is going to be 4 out of 5 stars. There's so much to love about this figure. The portrait looks very good. The soft goods look nice and accurate to the film with plenty of excellent detailing. I love the die-cast sword and the other weapons. The magnetic base works really well. However, there are quite a few issues with this set, which is problematic considering the high price. For starters, there are plenty of QC issues with the sculpt, and what you get depends on your luck. My figure's necklace came broken. The quality of the soft goods is subpar, especially the belt and the elven cloak. The set is also missing the ranger cloak, which feels like deceptive marketing. And InArt has disappointingly gone back on some innovations. I know there are plenty of issues, but this is still by far the best Aragorn toy available right now. As long as you get a good copy, you should be very happy with your purchase. That's my review, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my other reviews, including the review of InArt Gandalf. Until next time.